When someone says gear doesn't matter, they are completely wrong, because it actually does. All these YouTubers and filmmakers telling you that gear doesn't matter probably already have over tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear on their shelves. Their situation is completely different than a lot of ours. Like, I'm not going to be showing up to a client shoot with my iPhone. I'm going to be showing up with my FX3 or my A1 that I'm shooting with right now. It honestly just depends on the situation. And I'm not telling you to go in debt and blow your budget on a badass camera. But I'm telling you, gear matters depending on the type of work you're doing. For example, I totally understand that the camera I'm shooting with right now is completely overkill, and I could probably make do with my iPhone or something cheaper. Like, if a client hires me to create some UGC content, I'll probably lean more towards my phone rather than my Sony A1 or my FX3. If a client wants me to shoot their product and they want to blast it out on all the different platforms, including TV, obviously I'm going to use my mirrorless camera. Gear matters on the situation. And I feel like a lot of these YouTubers and filmmakers are completely ignoring that fact. Right now, my work is evenly split between polished stuff and lo-fi UGC stuff. And depending on the type of shoot, depends on the gear I bring. If I'm going to be shooting some high quality polished product stuff, I'm going to pull out my FX3 or my Sony A1 to get the best quality of image I can get. I mean, nowadays iPhones are good and all, but there's a difference. And likewise, I'm not going to be showing up to a UGC shoot with a big ass rig. I'm going to be bringing my iPhone and a mic like this. So in reality, it's not about the best gear, it's about the right gear for the job. Apart from my professional work, I also like to make content on my travels and document my family and our lives. And I don't like bringing my big bulky cameras to those travels or to those family events. I like to bring something small and packable because I don't want it to be in my way, and I don't want to worry about the best settings and the best lens to bring. I just want to literally point and shoot. And yes, I am anti-iPhone when it comes to my personal stuff, and that's a different conversation because I use my iPhone all the time for my UGC lo-fi content. All in all, gear is a tool. You're not going to be using a screwdriver to hammer in a nail. Let me tell you a quick story. When I first started in my photo and video career, I just had a crappy Nikon camera that I used for everything. And one specific job in general, I finally realized that gear actually matters, and my camera was hindering me from getting the best photographs as possible. I was shooting a sporting event for my college, and I found out very quickly that I needed a camera that can focus and shoot fast enough, and a lens with a wider aperture to combat the crappy indoor lighting. I was indoctrinated that gear doesn't matter, just learn how to use your equipment. Yes, I took a decent photo, but it could have been better. And so I slowly accumulated the gear that I needed. I didn't just buy everything all at once. And so firstly, I picked up a lens that had a wider aperture so that I can use it in low light situations. And so it's not about having the best gear, it's about having the right gear. I'm not going to be using my Leica M6 to shoot a sporting event. Although you can, and you can get some decent shots out of it, but you're going to have a tough ass time trying to focus in on that tiny rangefinder patch and only getting one shot every couple seconds. Another example is that you shoot action sports. You're not going to be using a cinema camera to get a POV shot of the rider on his mountain bike. You're going to be using a GoPro or any other action cam. For example, this talking head right now. The camera I'm using is completely overkill, totally understand that. And so the key takeaway after all of this yapping is to find the best piece of kit that fits for your situation. Because camera gear are just tools. You're not going to be hammering a nail with a screwdriver. So when someone says gear doesn't matter, just ignore it, because their situation is probably different than yours. Don't buy the best camera gear out there. Just buy the best camera gear that fits the type of work you are doing. Anyways, I'm done yapping. Let me know what content you shoot and what cameras you use. And if you actually think that gear does matter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Destroy that subscribe button.